Well, good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning, and I've decided to do the Rant and Rave on Monday instead. I would do it on Tuesdays, but I changed it to Monday, because I'm going to do another live on Wednesday and another one on Saturday. So I would just, I think it would be better if it's a day apart. It's not one right after the other. So what I want to talk about are a lot of things. But the first one is I am not going to be doing any more split screens. So I was having people that wanted to come on and wanted to share the live with me, but I've decided to stop doing that. And I encourage anybody that wants to express their point of view. There is a lot of social media sites out there that you can do your videos or whatever it is that you want to do. So I'm gonna change that so I won't be having anybody come with me on this. So I will be doing it on Mondays from here on out, because like I said, I have to do other lives, and I think having it a day apart is better instead of having lives all the time. So I wanted to talk a little bit about last week, about our standouts, about 9/11 coming up. Good morning, Joseph. 9/11 is coming up on Saturday. We're going to be doing a standout that day. We'll be there early. So come join us as we commemorate that day. The first plane hit at 8:46. So we will be there before then. And there will be no politics or that stuff involved that day. It'll just be for them. 9/11, the fallen heroes, the firefighters especially, and other people, the victims. So it's going to be a very sad day. That day, so I can't believe that it's been 20 years. I remember very clearly that day. So it was horrible. I was in Boston that day when it happened, and I remember people being all over the street. They were being let go from work, school. I mean, it was not chaotic, but it's kind of strange seeing everybody out. And we finally made our way back home, and it was like a ghost town. Nobody was driving. Planes were not flying anymore. Very, very, very quiet. Very, very eerie. And then when we got home, we were watching TV, and when I saw what happened, I couldn't believe what I was watching. I just couldn't believe it. And because these terrorists came out of the Logan airport, there were people in this area and around New England, I'm sure, and other where they got affected. A lot of people were affected in this area and that. And I tell you, airport security hasn't been the same since. Everything has changed since then. State police are out there at the airport. You can't park your car anymore up front. You gotta just drop people off and leave. You can't stay there. You have to go to a central parking. I mean, it's very different. Taking off your shoes, going through a metal detector. I mean, it's really changed everything. So that's coming up on Saturday, and like I said, that we're going to be commemorating that day, holding kind of like a vigil, memorial. So so I wanted to touch on that. I also wanted to touch on our rallies that we've been having. We switched the days to Wednesday instead of Thursday, because on Thursday we have the opposition there, the anti-Americans, the BLM supporters, and we were having issues with them. So we changed the days from Thursday to Wednesday, and now we're doing it on Saturdays as well. So hopefully that will continue. And I don't know, I don't know how long, as long as we have people to stand out, we'll continue to do it. So right now, that's the plan. What's going to happen in the future, I don't know. Just rolling with the punches. So last week, on Saturday in particular, I know some people watch my lives and the standouts that we do. Well, we had on Saturday, we had a little bit more vocal people, talking about one flag in particular. Now, mind you, we had a number of flags out there that day, but they were honing in on this one particular flag, which said or read FUCK Biden and the people who voted for him. So these people were honing in on that particular flag, and they took offense to the word FUCK. Now, mind you, nobody really likes that word, but it is a form of expression. So I asked, people that would talk about that flag, I would say to them, one in particular, an older gentleman, said, well, you never swore? You've never sworn? You never heard this word? Oh, well, yeah, of course I've sworn, he said. And I'm like, well, then what's the problem? What's the problem? And he didn't know what to say, because they act holier than thou. That is so horrible. That word is so horrible. You shouldn't be using it. It's offensive. It's degrading, whatever. And not only did the libtards not like it, but the conservatives or patriots, whatever you want to call them, didn't like it as well. So a few. Most people liked it, but I'm talking about the ones that were objecting to it. So one guy said that he didn't, of course, like that. And I'm like, well, I'm sure you've sworn, so I'm sure that this can't be that surprising to you that this word is on a flag. So to the people who find that word offensive and the flag and things that get printed up, don't blame the messenger. Call the company up, tell them you don't like the flag, and tell them not to make it. Stop selling it so that these people that find it offensive don't have to read it and they don't have to look at it. Is it really that hard? Call them up, tell them you don't want to see those flags anywhere, that you find them offensive. That's number one, right? There are ways to handle this, but they chose to focus on us because we had the flag. I was carrying it, somebody else was carrying it, and as I was coming across the street from the memorial with the flag in my hand, this guy, as I was crossing the street, wouldn't even stop for me. He actually kept going because I had that flag in my hand. And he just nearly missed me. And he had a kid in the car as well. So the excuse that they use is that there are kids around there. And it's like, yeah, oh well, okay, there are kids there. So then, as I come across the street, I had another older gentleman say this to me. Are you serious? Now, this is after I finished the video. I shut it off, downloaded it, so now the camera is not rolling anymore. This is when things started to get just a little bit heated, I would say. Maybe because they knew the camera wasn't on, I'm not sure. So anyway, this older gentleman said, "Are you serious?" As he looking at me, and I'm still holding that flag. And I said to him, "I'm totally serious. I'm totally serious." And I continued to hold it. And then, he starts getting into a heated argument with another person a patriot at the standout. He was told, "What did Trump ever do? What did Trump ever do?" And I said, "Well, he didn't do anything." Good morning, Linda. Trump didn't do anything. I mean, you think Trump didn't do anything, then he didn't do anything. But the other person chimed up and started talking about unemployment and so on and so forth. Of course, they don't want to hear that aspect of it, but they were talking about, he started talking about insurance. And Trump said he was going to do something about insurance. And what did he do? And this is how people that are trying to defend who they voted for, trying to make it look like Trump did something horrible. In the meantime, I asked him, "Do you like what Biden did in Afghanistan, that we have 13 dead Marines now? Do you like that?" He goes, "Well, of course not." He goes like that. And I said, "Oh, well, good. At least he admitted that." But the insurance part, I told him that Trump got rid of the mandate if somebody didn't want it. "Oh, big deal." He goes like that. "Oh, big deal." I go, "Oh, big deal? Really?" So now Biden has put it back in that if you don't have insurance, now you're going to have to start paying a penalty every month that you don't have one. I said, "You're a socialist. You're a socialist." The plan was to have an open market, and I got to choose what insurance, health insurance, I wanted, not what the government told me to get. That was the plan. Well, he didn't like that. Again, didn't like that. He turns around. He's going, I said, "Keep watching TV." He goes, "Oh, Biden got 80 million votes. And I'm like, "Yeah, right." I go, "You know what? Go home and go watch some more TV. Go watch the news. Go live in your bubble like a lot of these people do." He didn't know what to say. But I would say that the good thing about this flag, it is starting to open up a little bit of a dialogue. So it didn't end there, however. As we were gathering our stuff up, flags and everything else, there was another person that had to chime in about that flag. It was a younger man, relatively younger, I think, with his wife, maybe kids, young family. And he said to me, again, there are kids around, and, the woman said the same thing. And I'm like, "Yeah, so? Do they know how to read it?" I mean, well, no answer. I'm like, "Yeah, well, we don't have wimps here," I said, "and we're not politically correct, so." And "You talk to your kids like that? You talk to your kids like that?" And I didn't say anything to him. You know what? If I had kids, I'll talk to them any way I want. So, that being said, he then starts, then he started going into more about, the offensiveness of the word. And I asked him, "Do you find it offensive that people give us the finger and say F you to us?" I said, "Do you find that offensive? Does that bother you?" Again, no answer. I asked him again, "Does it bother you that people that are driving by give us the finger and tell us to F off? Does that bother you?" No answer, because he knows what I was trying to say to him. "Well, I didn't say anything like that." I didn't say you did, all right? Then I said, do you like that if people are unvaccinated, that they're going to be segregated from society, that they could be segregated, like they're not going to be able to go into a restaurant, they're not going to be able to do the normal things that people do. Does that bother you? Then he looks at me and he says, are you vaccinated? And I looked at him and I go, that's none of your business. And it's not the point. I asked him again, does he like the segregation? And no answer again. They've got nothing to say. When you say these things, they have no argument, they have no point. And again, my camera was off. So I looked at him because he didn't have an answer. And I'm assuming that he is a liberal socialist Democrat. And I looked at him and I said, F you for supporting this SHIT, and turned around and left him hanging there without, yeah, they're bullies, exactly. That's right, they're exactly right. So we keep, we get our finally we're able to leave. So what I've decided to do is I will set up wherever across, where the beach, that side, but however, I am going to go to the memorial side so I don't have to encounter these people. If they want to say something to me, they're going to have to come across the street and say it to me, or they're going to have to yell it across the way. But I am not going to talk to them and do a one-on-one. I get too mad, so I get all riled up there because I just think they're idiots. But my point was taken that they are socialists and that is what they stand for, whether they know it or not. That's the case. So that's what happened on Saturday when my camera stopped recording. And like I said, I'm going to be going across the monument because I do not want to encounter these idiots. And I'm going to do my best not to. Well, that's Wednesday. Saturday is going to be a different thing. Now, on this past Saturday, we had somebody walking by, and he's shaking his head. He's mumbling to himself. And I said, what's the matter? You don't like 9/11? You don't like that we're going to remember 9/11, like not to forget? He said, he turned around and he goes, I find this whole thing repulsive. I'm like, that's what he said. He found it repulsive. The display that we had. So it is obviously triggering people to no end, which I love. I personally love it. I love it that they get that way. Then he came up to me and he said that he had a family member die on 9/11. Now, I don't believe any of that stuff. These people make up stories so that they feel validated. They're trying to, have some kind of an argument. And I'm like, yeah, so? And you find this repulsive? So you have a family member that died and you find this repulsive. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. Because if I had somebody I knew that passed away on 9/11 and I had seen a flag, don't forget, I don't think I would be repulsed. I think I would be very happy that people didn't forget. Wow. So Linda's husband was part of 9/11 volunteer search and rescue. Yeah. So on 9/11, 20 years ago, there was a woman whose husband boarded the second plane from Boston that hit the second tower. He was on his way to California. That flight was scheduled to go to California. He was there for work, on the plane for work, and then he was going to do personal things as well on the West Coast. She was going to meet him later on that week because she had to work. So she dropped him off at the airport that morning to take that flight. And like I said, he was on that second plane. I forget the flight number that hit. I think it was American Airlines that hit the second tower. That, needless to say, that was very devastating. And so now years go by and they're still doing their search down at Ground Zero in New York City, right? Because it took a while to clean up that mess. And they found her husband's, or her late husband's, credit card. They called her up and asked her if she wanted it. She declined at first, and then she changed her mind. But yeah, in that rubble, they found his credit card. I mean, I was just, floored to hear that. And that, she wanted it. And like I said, things around here, as you know, were never the same that day. 20 years later, it still, it still really does get to us because, like I said, they came out of Logan Airport. So, and then they flew to New York City. Then one was going to go to Washington D.C. It hit the Pentagon, hit the land area in Pennsylvania. So it all happened on the East Coast. This thing. Well, yeah, I mean, the Trump's health insurance. Oh boy, here we go. I forgot to tell you, don't be aware of the trolls, please. She said, this woman says none of that happened. So listen, do not engage, do not follow, do not like, nothing. Just don't even answer, all right? Because this woman, MB Wilson Reddish, okay, now she's saying I'm misinformed. Watch out for the vax passport bullies. Yeah. So anyway, the health insurance that now Biden has done is put in place the penalty every month that if you're not insured, if you don't have insurance, you're going to get penalized every month on the federal level. Now, the state level, they might and they might not. They're all different. So some people might be getting penalized twice. Once on the federal level and then maybe on the state level too. Again, I think that's unconstitutional, and they did bring it to the Supreme Court, and because the Obama administration claimed that it was a tax, the Supreme Court allowed it to be passed. And then President Trump reversed it in an executive order and got rid of the penalty if you weren't going to be insured, if you decided. Yes, please block her, people. This is definitely a troll. They have so many fake accounts. They use people's names that we are aware of, pretending to be people we might know. That's how they fool you. And I'm warning you, don't be fooled. If you see a familiar name that you might know, do not immediately go and follow that person. That's what they want. They're looking for your information. They are bullies. They are cyber stalkers. That's all they do. This is all they do. They will harass you. They will intimidate you. Oh my God, I know you guys are reading her comments. I gotta laugh. They have not really, there is no issue. They cannot talk about any issue without name calling, without calling, what we are, you're gonna go to hell. Yeah, I mean, oh my God. Hello, Dot. So anyway, do not engage, please. So anyway, as you can see what she's saying. Anyway, so with the health insurance, yeah, now we're starting all over again with this mandate or penalties. This is all to get socialist policies into this country, trying to make the government bigger so that we have to pay more taxes in order for the government to tell us what insurance we should have, how much we should be paying for insurance. Now, when you buy health insurance in this state, you have to have in your policy prescription drugs. Now, see, this is what I don't like. I mean, why is the government telling anybody what they need to put on their insurance policy? What about if somebody doesn't need prescription drug coverage? Why do they have to pay extra if they're not even using it? So, I mean, I can't stand it, okay? It should be up to the individual to decide what they want, not what the government decides you should have for anything, not just health insurance. One policy does not fit all. Everybody is different. Every body is different. Everybody's situation is different. There is no one formula that fits everyone. And I believe that people are smart enough to figure out what it is that they need in their life without any government interference. So Biden, I believe he has put in his brain that he thinks he won. He did not win on November 3rd. He did not get 80 million votes. As much as these dreamers would like to think so, it is not the case. They keep finding in these audits, the states that have audits, they're finding millions of ballots that are missing, that were fake, and it is reversing everything, the count of Biden's votes. Okay, so I think New Hampshire had an audit too, but mainstream media doesn't talk about these things because they want to keep people in the dark about what's really going on in this country. They push a narrative that they want people to believe, the ones that watch mainstream media, that watch the news, that believe CNN and MSNBC, and maybe even Fox, I don't know. So these news media outlets are definitely pushing a narrative that is not true, and case in point is this pandemic. Media had made it out to be fear-mongering. So because everybody's so afraid, because the media has made everybody afraid of this flu, people believe they have to be jabbed in order to save themselves from this. But what they don't tell you is that you have an immune system, and that's what it's for. Your immune system is supposed to attack these viruses, bacteria, germs, whatever, okay, that comes any foreign body that comes into your system, that's what your immune system is for. So Dr. Fauci seems to have forgotten about that part. So apparently your own God-given immune system isn't enough for Dr. Fauci. You have to take the jab. Not only now do you have to take 2 jabs if you're going to take Pfizer, because Moderna has 1. Johnson & Johnson has 1. So if you take Pfizer, you're going to have 2. Now, what they're saying is you have to take a booster shot. I don't know what the booster shot is for. I have no idea. So I don't know what it's supposed to do. I thought the Pfizer shot was supposed to take care of this situation. So now that they're finding, what they're finding now is that people that have COVID and have come down with COVID are the ones that have been jabbed. They are the ones that have come down with COVID, not the unvaxxed. The people that are vaxxed are the ones that have COVID. They are also the ones spreading it. So when they get injected with this crap, they actually get COVID and then they spread it. So whether they knew this or not, I don't know. But I'm reading, doing a little bit, digging into a little bit more of these corporations like DuPont, the chemicals. See, these people are pushing chemicals, they're putting chemicals in our bodies that our bodies cannot handle. Teflon, everybody's got that pans, that non-stick Teflon. That is all material, chemicals that go into your system, which are poisonous. If you cook with Teflon, you will get this particular chemical in your system. And I'm sure by now everybody has this in their blood, the chemical that's in the Teflon products. So I try to get away from it, try to get, stainless steel, copper. They have a lot of other types of materials that you can use when you cook, and not the Teflon, because that's really, bad for you. So these companies like Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, DuPont, the only thing that they can deal with are chemicals, because if they talk about natural remedies, they cannot profit from them. So if the FDA says that companies cannot profit on natural herbs, remedies, and so on, they just can't do that. Oh, thanks, Marie. Nice plant. Yeah, that's a cactus plant. So they can't make money off of it. So that's why they concentrate on the chemicals. And they do put the crap in our water. I don't know if you guys heard about the fluoride. Fluoride is also cancerous. It's in toothpaste. It's in our drinking water. Try to get toothpaste that does not have fluoride in it. It is dangerous to put this stuff in your system. Make your own toothpaste if you can. I know there's coconut oil you can use, and you can use the essential oils. You can put mint or whatever, flavor you like, and making your own baking soda. You can, do that stuff too. So everything that we buy all has chemicals in it. Well, I'm sure these statistics that people have passed away from the shots are low. I really don't think they're giving us the whole thing. So, it's not Pfizer and Moderna and J&J did not start this whole thing with the chemicals. It has been going around now for a very long time. Monsanto is another one that puts crap in our food. They buy up land. They put chemicals on the crops. And they're making tons and tons of money. And like I said, when you go grocery shopping, go to around the perimeter of the grocery store, and that's where you find the fresher foods. On the aisles you will find processed food. So try to stick with the perimeter of the grocery store. I got bright. Yes, there's a filter too that you can use. Yep. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it's in the flu shots. Exactly. Yeah. The filter, I think, works really well. I remember my father putting one in. Oh my God, it was disgusting. It was disgusting what came out. I mean, the thing was like dark brown. It was so gross. Now, it could come from the pipes as well. Who knows? I don't know. But whatever, it's going into our system. I do not use tap water. Um, I drink vitamin water. I think it has reversed osmosis, like it's, all cleaned out. And distilled water is good to use too. That's all. Everything is gone. There's nothing in distilled water. Spring water still has some things and it could be contaminated. I don't know. But if I was going to get water, I would get distilled or the reverse osmosis type that that you can drink. They clean out all the chemicals. Oh God, you're kidding me. The food store now has arrows on the, oh my gosh. Again, we don't have that up here. That has not showed up again. Dr. Fauci, I just saw a post. It's not going around. I don't have cable, so I don't know what mainstream media is saying about it. But Dr. Fauci said the variant Mu or Mu, MU, is out there now. And he said it hasn't hit the States, or it's not a concern right now. So he's not worried about it right now. So this variant, there is a variant going around apparently. So I have a list of the variants that I got on social media, and that is on the list. Mu, MU, and there are others. I think now they have named 3 or 4 of them. There's 21, so now the media has 17 or 18 more to go with these variants, which last until 2023. So we're gonna have to listen to this for another couple of years until all the variants on that list have been named. I'm not kidding you. They have a list of the names of the variants already. They've given it to the media and they've told them when to announce it, what month and what year. This Mu variant was supposed to come out, I believe, in February of this year, but now he's mentioning it now. So, and there are others for 2020. Well, there's a bunch for 2022. So next year, be ready for a whole slew of them. I'm sure that they are wetting their lips for winter this year, saying that you better get your flu shot, you better get a booster, if you don't want to get COVID, if you've got this. I mean, they're going to scare people half to death, and everybody is going to be running around like their head is cut off, like a chicken, right? Head off, getting this, that, and the other thing. I mean, we're going to have more of this crap. I hope not. I hope people are smartening up and realizing that this is really such a big hoax. But you know what? There are a lot of people that don't think so. A lot of people that don't think so. They believe the government. They don't question. They don't ask. It's not, something, I'm going to say it again. It is the media that is the problem. The media is getting away with murder, literally getting away with murder. Nobody ever says anything about the media. They all focus on the politicians. They focus on doctors, Dr. Fauci, and not that you shouldn't, but people forget, and very quickly, that the media is at fault, or just as much fault here, for creating this narrative, false narrative of fear, and for making sure people get their jab so that they can keep their high-paying clients that advertise on these channels keep them happy. So they're making billions, and then in turn, these big pharma companies are going to have an ad on these channels, because they always do. Now, when I had TV, I remember seeing drug ads all the time. All the time. And I remember it looked like a soap opera. Some of them were like soap operas. They were so long. That is really, I don't know if you guys have any idea how expensive that is to carry an ad for that long. These people make billions and billions and billions of dollars, and they will use us to carry out experiments, food filled with chemicals, because they cannot use the natural herbs. These companies cannot profit from nature. So they have to go to chemicals, patent it, like Dr. Fauci does with his shots. This is the game they play. They have to put chemicals in these jabs. That's how they make their money. People need to start realizing this. They are putting crap in the food, in the medicine, everything. Toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo, everything. Everything. We are filled with chemicals, and this is like microwaves. What else is there? There's a lot. We're so accustomed to it that we don't even think about it. We're so used to it. We're so used to it that we don't even think about all the chemicals that we are exposed to on a daily basis. Well, okay, that was, I guess, one rant I wanted to talk about. But, going back to Saturday and the rally, the freedom rally that we had, we triggered a lot more people than we did last week. It was very, very different. Last Saturday was very different. This past Saturday was another story. I swear to God, they do it on purpose. I swear that they do it on purpose. So it's turning out, to me, it kind of reminded me, this past Saturday, the standout kind of reminded me of dealing with the anti-Americans. That's what it seemed like to me. The BLMers that we have to deal with, harassing and intimidating and, thinking they're so smart by saying, oh, look at the kids. Aren't you worried about the kids? It's like, that was not the only flag that had that word on it. We had other flags too that had other things, but they were honing in on that one in particular, and I don't know why, but I'm glad. I hope that they get even more upset. I hope they do something stupid, and I'm hoping that I will probably continue to film when we're done. I will probably continue to film just in case, because I want it caught on camera, because they will tend to shut up if it's on camera. As you can see, that woman left. The so-called reddish, whatever she was, she's gone. She decided to leave. So when you don't, hi Jerry, when you don't engage, because that's what they're looking for, and all they can do is name call. Okay, I don't know if you guys, the other thing I want to talk about is Faker Baker. The governor is coming up next week, the election for the governors, next year. And I believe he's thinking of running again. Now in Massachusetts, there are no term limits to run for governor. He can run as many times as he wants. There is no limit. So he will run for the third time. I'm believing he's going to. if people, which I tend to believe, especially the socialists, the anti-American people that we are dealing with at the rallies, if they will be the people that will like what Faker Baker is doing, which is making sure people get vaccinated, making sure that, passports, they are all for this. They want the masks in the school. They want to make sure the employers have everybody. I mean, they're tyrants. They're tyrants. So those people will vote for Faker Baker. And if the election is rigged, which I think it is, he's going to get back in. He's going to get back in unless there's some miracle happens that he doesn't. But I don't know. I really don't trust, obviously, what happened November 3rd with the Dominion voting machines. We use the same ones in this state, and we are not having an audit on this state, in this state. The Secretary of State, Attorney General, whoever does this won't do it. So that tells you a lot right there, that if they're not willing to have an audit, then it has to be rigged. It has to be. Because if they were hiding nothing, we would have an audit in this state. But they are hiding it. So I believe that it will be rigged. If anybody's going to go vote, I'm not sure if I'm going to, but if I do, vote for somebody else or put your name on the line, because if it's rigged, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter who you vote. That's how I see it. Maybe some people don't. Maybe some people still trust it. I know President Trump wants to go back to paper ballots and IDs to go vote, and in person. No mail-in, not on the internet. I'm sure that they're thinking of a way to have people vote on the internet, because that way is very easily manipulated also. Your vote can be also manipulated through the internet if you're going to vote that way, just like you can with the Dominion voting machines and the computer programs. They can be very easily reprogrammed. But a paper ballot is different, and you have to go in person. So I'm hoping that we do go back to that, because if we do, I will trust the process. But if we're going to be using the machines, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter who you vote for. I'm sure there are plenty of people that do not like Faker Baker, but I'll bet you anything he's going to get back in. He's going to get back in. It's rigged that way. It's It's either him, Lyons, Deal, other people that are not in that establishment is going to have a hard time, because they want to keep these people because they're doing what they want them to do, which is pushing socialism and communism. And again, I want to say on this past Saturday, Swampscott or Lynn or both had fireworks on September 4th, Saturday night. There was a festival going on here that day. It started later on in the afternoon, and then they had fireworks. I've never seen fireworks around here on September 4th. Never, ever. I don't get what's going on here. I don't know if it's because it's, Labor Day today? I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't understand why they didn't have it for the 4th of July. I really think this is all planned out. This is intentional. When I was coming home from the fireworks that night, I walked by a group of people, and I asked them if they saw it. They said yes. And I said, well, we should have had that on the 4th of July. And they started laughing, and one man said, yeah, I agree. I said, that's right. So there are a lot of people that are thinking the same thing that I'm thinking. Why didn't we have it on the 4th? Why did we have it on September 4th? So we need to speak up. We have to make our voices heard just because we don't like something doesn't mean that you're going to get in trouble for it. That people, this is why everybody is so quiet, because they don't want to have conflict. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to deal with the conflict, okay? When you speak out to the anti-Americans, you're going to get stupid responses back from them because they have no idea how to debate. They've been catered to for so long that they don't know how to answer back when you present facts, when you have an argument. They don't know what to say to you because all they do is listen to the media. They don't do their own research. They trust the media and the government. Well, what's his face? Faker Baker was pushing probably Lyons, but I heard now that he's now getting on Lyons' case. So he's saying now he's starting. Faker Baker is now starting with Lyons. So that's making me think that he's gonna run. That Faker Baker is gonna run. So, I still can't believe that people are wearing masks at work. Employees. I just, I went into a eatery and they were not wearing a mask. Some were, some weren't. Which I think that's the way it should be. Make it your choice. For whatever reason, I walked in, I did not have one on. Good morning, David. I didn't have one on. I plan on not wearing one. If a company insists before I go into the establishment that I wear one, I will turn around and walk out and go elsewhere. I can order stuff online without worrying about whether I have a mask or not. This is ridiculous. Telling us to get jabbed and you don't have to wear a mask anymore. Now you have to wear a mask again. They're so full of it. The other thing is Australia is horrible, and Israel is getting pretty bad too. With these lockdowns, now in Israel, they want their citizens to also have the booster to be able to qualify for a vaccine passport. So now they're saying that in Israel. They actually arrested an elderly woman for not wearing a mask. The police in Israel arrested an elderly woman for not wearing a mask. This is insane. In Australia, a father wanted to bring his little boy to the playground because now the playgrounds are locked down in Australia, so the kids cannot go out and play. So the father decided to take it in his own hands, went to the playground. I guess the sign was off. He took the sign, he threw it away, and lo and behold, the police found out about it. I don't know how, found out about it, that he threw the sign away. So now, guess what? Criminal charges. This guy is now facing criminal charges, a fine, and if he's convicted, he could spend up to 5 years in jail because of a sign. Honest to God, they're nuts. I feel so bad for the people in Australia, New Zealand, Israel. They have gone totalitarian, communist, social. I don't know what. Russia. I don't know if you heard this, but Russia doesn't even want their citizens to be jabbed. Can you imagine? Russia, a communist country that says that their citizens don't have to be jabbed. That is pretty unbelievable. They're more free than we are concerning this. It's pathetic. Look at Afghanistan. I don't know if you guys notice, but in Afghanistan, nobody is wearing a mask. When you look at the Taliban on TV and when you see the people out and about, nobody's wearing a mask. Nobody. No one. Nobody, I don't think hardly anybody's been vaccinated, and the Taliban, and the Taliban does not want the vaccines in the country. So those people in Afghanistan are not going to get the jab. And yet they have no issue with COVID and the jab and people coming sick and coming down with it like it is here, Israel. I'm not sure about Australia, but I know Israel has a bunch of, they have problems there. People coming down with COVID, the ones that have been vaxxed, that is, and being in the hospital for 5 months or more. 5 months or more. The Israeli people, whoever have come down with this crap, are in the hospital with it. So because they took the jab. Putin is a true leader. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know, is this really David Smith? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know if he's being sarcastic. But anyway, like I said, you guys question, don't believe everything, okay? So I wanted to say that Afghanistan, yes, they're making boosters, exactly. Afghanistan does not have any of these issues. India does not have these issues either. All of a sudden, they are even below the top 100. They're not even in the, India is not even in the top 100 cases for COVID. They're not even, they're way down. They're like 125 or something like that. In this country, New York and New Jersey are number 1 and number 2. Massachusetts is way up there too with this because people that have been getting jabbed are getting sick. So there is a problem in this state too with it. So to believe that this jab works because the governor says so is very dangerous. This is a very dangerous precedent that is going on right now. Medical tyranny, the government mixing in medical tyranny and making people do things they don't want to do. It's not good. I mean, this country shouldn't be that way. The state is, to me, when I see people that are against a flag that says F Biden, but you know, like I said, it's okay, however, if they do it to us. That was never an issue. That was never an issue when they would drive by, give us a finger and say F you. You know, there was no concern then with the kids being across the street, with the school being there, with kids walking by. That was not an issue when that was happening. It still happens. That's not an issue, but the flag is an issue. So you know what they're doing. They're just, you know, they just want to give us a hard time because they don't want us there, because they don't. But that's not the majority. That is the minority. And it's too bad if they don't like it there. If they don't like that we're there. We have a right to stand out. And like I told one of the guys, I live in a constitutional republic. I don't live in China. So, yeah, you know, this virus where in countries that have not been jabbed and don't wear the masks, they don't have problems like we're having right now with people that have been jabbed. So these people have been brainwashed. They've been brainwashed. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind. And for people to stick up for what Biden is doing, Dr. Fauci, there's got to be something wrong, I think, with these people that support this tyranny, medical tyranny, the lying that's going on with the mask. Now the kids, now they are focusing on the kids. Now they're saying that the kids have to wear a mask all day in school, which they are. I mean, and Faker Baker this past summer said he was not going to do that. But now He's changed his mind, which he always does. Now, so far, I haven't heard anything about the jab, but that's coming up. So if parents are allowing the children to go back to school with masks on, then they're going to start with the jab. Right. The libs are in control. Well, it's not only where the libs are in control. No, it's not only that. It's really everywhere. It really is a problem everywhere. And the other thing, too, is companies now mandating that their employees get the jab or else they get fired. That is also dangerous. And as somebody pointed out, wait to get fired so that you can sue. They are now trying to figure out how to go around it. So, for instance, the educational, like the I'm not sure if it's here. I'm not sure what state it is, but the people that head the educational department, they are now saying that if the parents pull the kids out of school after October to have them homeschooled. So if they pull them out before October, they won't say anything. But if they pull them out after October, they're going to call, oh gosh, there's some, I don't know, Department of Child Services or something like that, if they pull them out. So in other words, like child abuse, if you pull them out of school because you're not happy with the curriculum or with the mask mandates and possibly the jab. And I said it last summer that Faker Baker will do this and that parents need to have an alternative before school starts. Because they're going to back them up in the corner, and that's exactly what Faker Baker did. He backed the parents up in a corner, especially the ones that believed him and said that there were going to be no mask mandates. They thought they were safe, when in reality they are not. So they didn't make alternative plans like for homeschooling. So they have until October to be able to, it is Massachusetts? Wow. So, they have until October to pull the kids out so that they don't get reported on. I mean, this is crazy. This is like totally crazy. And this is from our compliance. This is from our compliance. This is us saying it's okay if you tell us to wear masks, we will. It's okay if you tell us to get the jab, we will. It's okay if you tell us to get the booster, we will. Now they're coming out with a pill form for COVID-19. I mean, these big pharmas are going to make so much money off of this COVID-19 flu that it's not even going to be funny. I can't even imagine how much money they're making. Because just because whoever got jabbed got it for free, no, you did not get it for free. You paid for it through your tax dollars. They are getting paid to do this. And there is no recourse. If you have side effects, you cannot sue them. You can't do anything about it. I don't understand why people would want to take that chance, but I can say fear will do that. Fear will make people do things they probably normally would not do. Yeah, these kids, I was listening to the ones that wear the mask all the time. It's disgusting. They don't even get a chance to take it off. So these kids are breathing in that bacteria that's supposed to come out. They're putting it back into their bodies. These kids are going to get sick. They're going to get sick. Yes. Adults can't stand it, having the mask on. Can you imagine little kids? They need the oxygen. It has to go into their system. It has to go up to the brain in order to function. Masks cut the oxygen off. And plus, you're breathing in toxins that you shouldn't be breathing in. So I blame the parents for allowing this to happen to their children. I do. I mean, this is a form of child abuse. And people should be calling Child Protective Services on these people that have their kids masked. I was out, and I swear to God, when I was out, all the kids were the ones wearing the masks. The adults weren't wearing them. I couldn't figure it out. I even asked somebody, I'm like, why are the kids wearing masks? This is outside, walking around. Little kids. I mean, they're like 4 years old, 3 years old. Somebody was in front of me. He had 2 little girls with him. One was too little to have a mask, I guess. He had a mask on, and the little girl, who must have been 3 or 4, had a mask on, and she couldn't breathe. She kept staring at me because I didn't have one. And I'm looking at her like, you can take it off. I didn't say anything because the father was there, but I'm looking at her like, you don't have to wear it. You don't have to wear it. So it was bothering her. She took it down, and then she went for one that was cleaner. And the father said to her, oh, you want this other one? Come on, hurry up, put it on. Hurry up, put it on. This is what he said to the little girl. These people really do think that there is something going on around and that they're going to catch it and they're going to end up in the hospital. They really do. The military is having an issue too. Yep, that's another department in the government where they're trying to force the jab on the soldiers. They don't want to take it. And if they don't, they're going to be disciplined. This is nuts. This is nuts. I don't understand what the push is with this jab. The only thing I can think of is that it's got junk in it and it's not good for you. That's the only thing I can think of. This is not good for anybody. This mRNA is junk. Go watch Dr. Robert Malone, Malone, his videos. He's on Rumble. He is the inventor of the mRNA and the drug. Go watch his videos or his interviews and see what he says about it. See what he says. Go look it up for yourself. Of course, he's not on Facebook and the others because he's going to be censored. They'll take it down. But he is on Rumble. He is out there. And I'm telling you, he's even against it. He tells you how it works. He tells you, and it's the science, the doctors, the scientists who know how this works are very, very, very concerned about people that have taken this jab. They're very concerned, and what they're concerned about is their very own immune system. That it is going to break down. Their immune system, instead of the jab making it stronger like they claim, it's going to make it worse. So there are a lot of doctors out there that are very concerned about it. They're concerned about the miscarriages that are happening with this. I've seen these videos, and I'm telling you, I don't understand how people can take this stuff. Now they're saying that your own natural immune system is a better defense than the jab. So, I mean, of course they tell you this after practically everybody's been jabbed. So, It's sad to see what's going on with this jab, but it is medical tyranny, and you're going to have to find some way not to comply, to say no. And the most important thing is not to be afraid of this virus. It is a flu. The people that do end up getting sick from it are the people in the nursing homes. They are the ones at risk. So they catch everything. So they're the ones that have an issue. Now, if somebody who's elderly does end up getting it, there is hydroxychloroquine, there's ivermectin that you can take and is just as effective, and it's safe. It's especially hydroxychloroquine. They've been using this for 70 years. Pregnant women can take it, children can take it, senior citizens can take it. Anybody can take it with minimal or no side effect. So if I ever had it, that's what I would do. But again, everybody's reaction to this is different. If you're healthy, you probably won't even know you had it because it is the flu. If you have a good immune system, it'll fight it off, and you will have antibodies to it, which is what your immune system is supposed to do. That's what it's supposed to do. Vitamin D and zinc, yes. Some people take vitamin C. There's a lot of things that you can take to keep your immune system tip-top shape as much as you can. Get outside, exercise, be in shape, eat healthy, get rest, don't stress out. That all helps your immune system. That keeps you strong, it keeps you healthy. You can fight off practically anything concerning viruses and germs and bacteria that we come in contact with on a daily basis. Okay, I mean, we've got germs all over the place. And no amount of cleaning will ever get rid of them. They're going to come back. So I don't know, why bother? Why bother? So, and the other thing too is, vitamin D3, right? Is to, I think the biggest thing is fear. When people are afraid, they do things they probably normally wouldn't do, but it also affects your immune system. It also affects your health when you are living in fear. It is not healthy to live in fear. Very unhealthy. Very unhealthy. It affects everything. It affects everything you do. So if you're making decisions based on fear, I would take a step back and reevaluate why you're doing what you're doing. And if it's because of fear, you need to do probably more research as to why you're afraid, what could go wrong. If you don't do something, I mean, what's the alternative? Are there other things you can do? For instance, with COVID, taking ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine instead of getting the jab. I mean, there are alternatives out there. So, but if fear is the factor of why you're making decisions, then it would be really good to step back and reevaluate why you're doing what you're doing. And a lot of people, like I said, they take this jab because of fear. Because of fear. Yeah, it's fear. It definitely is fear-mongering. It's a flu. It's the flu. COVID is the flu. COVID-19, the number 19 means it is the 19th strain of the flu. Okay, that's what it means. So if we get tested for COVID, we're gonna come back positive because we've been exposed to other flus, other flu strains that probably that they call COVID. COVID is the flu. That's what they call the flu, COVID. So it is nice out. The sun is out. Yesterday was yicky. It was cloudy. It was raining a little bit. I thought the sun was going to come out, but it's much nicer today. And I think it's going to be nice all week as well. So I'm thinking of Saturday for 9/11. It's going to be nice out. I don't know. I don't know if there was anything else that I wanted to talk about, but I just want to reiterate the standouts Wednesdays and Saturdays right now. Be careful of the trolls. There isn't anybody here right now, but there was one this morning. So I know that I usually do this on Tuesdays, but because I go live Wednesday, I decided to do it today just to do a synopsis, talk about what's going on, people talking about what's going on with them. The piece, I think it's the PCP test or something that's, not reliable. This COVID-19 has gone into a whole other level. It is ridiculous. I'm not saying that people don't get sick, but people survive this flu. The flu actually kills more people than COVID does. And we never shut down during the winter because of the flu. I mean, this is an excuse to bring in socialism and communism. That's what this is about. It is trying to get a stronghold of us so that the government can tell us what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and just, I don't know, they're just psychopaths. I mean, these people are sick. The people that are in government and want to have control are sick. This is not normal. So it is not normal. When you see the trolls and you see the names, oh, you're welcome, David. When you see the names and you saw, the name, I mean, and by the comments that they make, you can tell that they're a troll. She's gone. Maybe she's still, listening to this, but she's not commenting anymore. Ignoring them is probably the best thing you can do if you can. Especially on social media, not to engage on a live. That's what they want. I mean, you saw what she said. This is all they say. They say the same things over and over and over and over and over again. It is stupid. They have no argument. There's no intelligence behind their comments. They have no argument. They have no argument, so they have to do it another way. They are anti-American. They are anti-American. They're Marxists. They're communists. They're socialists. They are tyrants. They're psychopaths. So that's how I describe the anti-Americans. Whether they know it or not, that's what they're supporting. Complying to this nonsense is just making the government that much stronger. And you know what? I would be very happy if one side of, say, Massachusetts, all the anti-Americans, the commies, the socialists, they all go out on the west side, for instance, and the patriots that want the constitutional republic stay on the east side. I'm happy with that, because I don't think we can coexist. If you've got people that are for socialism and communism, and then you've got the others that want a constitutional republic, a sovereign country, a sovereign state, I am very happy with either, splitting it north, south, or east, west in this state. I don't have any problems with it at all. So we make a boundary, north or south. So south, let's say in the south, right, like kind of like in the middle of the state. the liberals can stay down there and they can have their own type of government. They can have their own type of schools. They can have the kids wear the masks. They can have the kids jabbed. Everybody can be jabbed. Have your own hospitals. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Run the towns like you want. And don't fight with the ones like me and others that don't want it. Don't push your ideas on us. We are not anti-American. We are not pro-communist. We are not pro-Marxist. We are not pro-socialists. We are patriots. We want a constitutional republic. We want law and order. We want a sovereign country. We want a sovereign state. And it clashes with the liberals. So why don't we just do that? Have, even on the west side, go to the west side, go to the west side of the state. And we'll stay here on the east side. Unless we can figure out how to get along, then I think we should split up. And end it. Just end it. I mean, I told you what happened when the camera shut off. Okay, you got the anti-Americans. They start with you, just like the BLMers. They'll harass you, try to intimidate you. They think they're being smart and logical and stuff like that. I am not going to engage with that. I am going to go across the street to the memorial, so I do not have to listen to them. They're going to have to yell across the street if they want to say something to me, or they're going to have to come to the memorial to say something to me. But I refuse to engage with that nonsense. And like I said, if you like it, then you run the town the way you want to run it, and others will go elsewhere. I really don't have a problem with it. I really don't. I mean, Florida is a good place to go. The governor, maybe South Dakota, Texas. I don't know. California is kind of changing. They're going to be voting in 10 days to recall Governor Newsom. And it seems like Larry Elder is very popular to replace Newsom. Elizabeth Warren has gone to California to campaign to keep Newsom, right? She's gone out there. Faker Baker was out there too. I'm telling you, these people are tyrants. The politicians that come from this state are just like Newsom. They are tyrannical. They're communists. They want the power and control over you. They gotta go. They gotta go, or like I said, go to the west side of the state or wherever these people want to go live. Tell them where to go live. I mean, so far they're telling us, we got to get a jab. You have to be masked. You got to do this. Why don't you tell them where they got to go live so that we don't have to deal with them? I don't want to deal with them. I am totally sick of these people. Totally. So tell them to move. Tell them to go elsewhere. Your people, the tyrants, Elizabeth Warren, Faker Baker, Newsom. Why don't you tell them to go live at a certain part of the state and leave us alone? Leave us alone. We can't coexist. It's not working. We're not coexisting here. I am not caving in to communist, socialist, Marxist beliefs, and they think they're right. Well, then please, please, please have your own towns and do whatever you want. Have an open border. Let them come in. Have the Afghan refugees go to you. Have the Mexicans that come across the border. Have them go to your towns that you believe you should be taking care of. Please do, but don't make us that don't want it to pay for something we don't want to pay. Taxes on foreigners, on lands that are enemies. We don't know who's coming in. They're not vetted. Our vets and other people need our help too in this country. We should not be taking in refugees from other countries, and they're all men. They're men. The Afghanis that are coming here, the so-called refugees, are all men. There are no women and there are no children. This is bull. This is bull. This is Obama all over again. We're going to start having terrorist attacks. We're going to start seeing things that happened in the Obama administration in Florida. Remember that nightclub where this terrorist, or he was from some terrorist country, what did he burn it? I can't remember. He targeted a gay club, and there were many people that passed away from that. We're going to start that all over again. Stabbings. They like to use their knife. And in London, that is an issue. In England, they're having problems with that. This is going to happen here. And in this state, did you know that they're in Worcester? The Afghan refugees have landed in Worcester. And like I said, if that's what you want, people that want that should go move to Worcester. You agree with that? Go to Worcester, support them, give them your money, give up your house, give up, you're for socialism, you're for all this equality, give up your stuff and give it to them. Deport them to China. Well, let me tell you, Afghan, China, and Biden, they're all in on it. This is all China's doing. What Biden is doing is because of China. It's because of China. All the decisions that he's making he's making the Chinese people happy. That's who he works for. He doesn't work for this country. He works for them. He works for them. Yeah, I mean, it is terrifying. Well, like I said, you're not in this state. And Texas is different, I believe. But Faker Baker, the governor of this state, has said publicly that he will take in Afghan refugees, and he has. They're in Worcester. Why don't they go to his house? Why don't they go to his house? He can pay for it. He wants it. He can pay for it. See, this is what I'm talking about. Tyrants. They decide what they want to do with your tax money. This is your tax money that he is using to fund what he thinks should be done here. I don't want my tax money supporting unvetted people that are coming in this country. We don't know who they are. I don't want them in here. I don't. So, unless we know who they are, no. Why? Who knows what these people are going to do? You let them loose out there in Worcester. You don't know what they are. They could be murderers. They could be rapists. I mean, they could be pedophiles. I bet you anything their crime is it's gonna change. It's gonna change now, because Faker Baker has decided that he wants to take in the Afghan refugees, and he has no idea who they are. No vetting process. Nothing. Yeah, I would love to recall Faker Baker. I really would. We should. There should be a petition just like California has. Same thing. We should do the same thing. So I can talk about that with the group and see what they think about that idea. I don't know how they did it in California. I don't know who started the petition, but it caught on real well. I think they needed 1 million signatures or something like that. And they got it, Yeah, the sleeper cells. Oh yeah, they're, what about the what was it, a couple of months ago when they arrested those people from Pennsylvania, were the militia? They said they were going up to Maine to do some training, and they found all these types of rifles and guns in their vans, and they were, I forget what that. They all got arrested, obviously, and they are in jail. So, but those are kind of like sleeper cells. They're in this country. They got caught. And you don't want to get caught with firearms in this state because it's pretty strict. That's pretty strict in this state with rifles and guns. You can't just bring it across the border in this state. It's a big no-no. Idiot Baker would cheat the recall. Well, yeah, I'm sure he would find a way. Oh, there's no doubt. But even if it would get started, it would send a message. It would send some kind of message, I believe. But, there is going to be a rally in Boston at the State House protesting, again, mandates. When is it going to be? I think it's the 17th. I think it's a Saturday. There's going to be, or is it a Friday? I think it's a Friday. I have to double check that. But there is going to be a protest at the State House probably next week. I think it's a Friday. And then there's going to be one, well, it's in Rhode Island, but it's a gun membership place. There's going to be one there, the CORE, I think it's CORE, CORR, I believe. It's a group, patriotic kind of group. Gas cans and everything, they got caught. Yeah, with the gas cans, yeah. Yes. Well, they look suspicious. It was 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and I'm sure the state trooper or whoever was like, what are they doing out here? Why are they here? And then they did some digging, and, there was a standoff, and the roads were closed, and they finally got them in custody. One was a minor. I don't think they came from this state. They were from other states like Pennsylvania, New York, stuff like that. But I think that the group did form in Massachusetts. The group did form here. So when you have this type of government that allows Afghan refugees to come in with no vetting process, when you allow tyrants like Faker Baker telling us what to do, these are the kinds of people you're going to attract. The state is going to attract militia type people. This is what it does. This is what it does. Because it's like supporting terrorists, basically. They're terrorists. They're psychopaths. I'm talking about the politicians. Lyons is planning on being there? Really? I wonder if Rayla Campbell's going to be there. She might be, too. If Lyons is going to be there, she might be there. So, yeah, I'm sure they've got all the speakers lined up. I don't know if I'm going to go to that. I might. And I'm sure you're going to have the opposition there as well. You know who, showing up. The anti-Americans will be there too. Let me see. I wanted to touch upon that stuff. Don't go to marching to it is trap. Yeah. Yeah. Washington, I've been watching some of those live videos, down in Washington, D.C. I'm telling you, it is bizarre down there. It just doesn't look normal to me. Very, very strange. Yeah, yeah, I know. They're protesting the mandates, not just the mask, but the jabs as well, and a lot of other things too. So I'm sure that they're going to complain about what was I going to say? Oh, Faker Baker. They're gonna come. I'm sure they're gonna say maybe. I don't know if Lyons is there, might not. David Harris is there already. I don't know. Oh, David Harris, the city councilman. Yeah. Oh no, that's Palmer. I don't know who David Harris is, but I just see, protests, and I'm like, wonder what that is. I don't know who's gonna be there, but I'm glad that they're having a protest. So, oh, David Harris for Washington. I don't know who David Harris. Anyway, I wanted to, like I said, touch upon that and do the synopsis like I usually do, but I usually do it on Tuesday. But because I go live on Wednesday, I decided to change it to Monday. And plus, it's fresher too, because it just happened the other day. It stays in your brain. And, I know there is somebody that likes to come on with me, but I've decided not to do that any longer for reasons I'm sure he's aware of. So I don't know if there is anything else anybody wants to touch upon. I did Australia, New Zealand, Israel, England a little bit, talking about the Afghan refugees that are in Worcester right now in this state. I know that because I lived in Arizona. Arizona has a problem with the Mexican border, so I know that the governor there, Ducey, is very unhappy with Biden's open door policy in the southern border, because they're having issues with the southern border being open and people crossing over. It's a problem in Arizona. It's a big problem. He's complaining. He's very upset. The governor of Arizona is very upset with Biden and what's going on the southern border. I'm sure Texas must have their issues as well, but I think they're trying to finish the border wall there. I don't know if they have. Florida has, sometimes they've got problems too, but I would say Arizona and Texas and California have problems with that, with the illegal immigration. Let me see. We touched about the jab, and I don't like the corporations forcing people to get the jab or else they lose their job. Don't like that. That is not right. That is definitely discrimination. And I've seen several videos on how they tell people how to handle it. One person was saying to stay calm and be rational about it, show the data to the employer of the reason why they don't want to take it. Let me see, just giving them facts and then take it from there. Another one said to write up a document stating that if they decide to take the jab, will the company be responsible for any adverse effects that happens to them, which means, paying the medical bills if they end up in the hospital. That's another way of doing it, I guess. Let's see. The truckers are on strike, yes. In, I think, Australia. And I think they're doing it in this country, too. And I see videos on that also to get stocked up with food. Because if the truckers decide that they're going to strike because they're forcing them to get the jab and they don't want it, our supplies are not going to be around. So make sure you have backup food, non-perishables, I believe they're called, on hand, just in case that does happen. Well, there's a lot going on. There is a lot. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with all this stuff. How to handle an employer if they force you to get the jab. And some people say, let them fire you, don't quit, fire them so you can sue them. I don't even know if you can get unemployment compensation if you get fired because of that reason. They're making it, they're all in on it. I'm telling you, they're all psychopaths. They're crazy. These people are crazy. Crazy. So, find another way to make a living. Try to find another outlet. You don't have to go work for somebody. Work for yourself. Do something you've always wanted to do, or you'll always like doing, or come up with a product that people might need and want. Yeah, there are alternatives, and yeah, it would be nice to do what you want to do, like some people with the nursing, especially the hospitals and stuff, making them take the jab. A lot of nurses don't want to take the jab. I don't know why they're forced to. It's crazy, awful. I really, it's awful. I can't even imagine, being told that you have to get the vax or else you're going to get fired. That's intentional. That is, again, a form of control. They're psychopaths. These people are psychopaths. You're not dealing with normal, rational people when they tell you have to do this, this, and this in your life. That is an abusive, controlling relationship, right? Because if you had a partner that would do that to you, you would be like, oh my God, there's something wrong with this person. Why are they keeping me inside? I can't go here. I can't go there. I mean, that's an abusive relationship. So, and the government is doing the same thing with our money, by the way. Your money, our money, tax money. So, I don't know, all the employers are different, and how they're going to handle it, how people respond to it is also going to be different. Some of them probably will take the jab so that they keep their job, and then they're going to tell them to get the booster, and if you don't get the booster, you're not going to get you're not going to be able to keep your job, and they'll do that. Well, now you're going to have to wear a mask. If you don't wear a mask, you're not going to be able to keep your job, and they'll wear a mask. The more you comply, the worse it is. And I say this to the hospitals and all the businesses that people own: if half of your staff is gone, what are you going to do? How will you conduct business? Who's going to take care of the sick people in the hospital if half of your nursing staff isn't there? If half of the people that wherever they're employed, if they don't show up, how are you going to conduct business? How is this going to work? I mean, you guys have more power than you think. You have more power than you think. And I think I told the story on Walmart. There were no cashiers there. The guy went food shopping. He was looking for a cashier. There were none to be found. He had to go to the self-checkout. There were two registers available, I believe, there. He asked the manager why there were no cashiers. They all quit because I think it was Walmart, I don't know what state it was, that said you had to be jabbed in order to work, and they left. They left. There were no cashiers in that particular Walmart, wherever it was. They had people that shopped there had to use the self-checkout lanes. What are they going to do? What are employers going to do if you decide not to show up at work, if you quit, whatever? There is nothing they can do. They're not going to be able to conduct business. It's not going to be business as usual. People are not going to go to a Walmart with no cashiers there. They're going to be long lines and a self-checkout. They're going to lose business. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They will lose business. And then maybe just then they will change their mind and make it optional, or not say anything at all. It's none of their business whether somebody wants to be jabbed or not. They are not doctors. Everybody's different. Everybody is different. And they should not be forcing anything that nobody wants. It's against the law. It's against the Nuremberg codes, because this is an experimental vaccine, jab. It's not a vaccine, it's experimental. And it goes against the Nuremberg codes. See, in Massachusetts, I'll say it again, too much compliance in Massachusetts. Way too much. Way too much. This is why this state is in the position it's in. Because people are complying to whatever Faker Baker says. Did you hear about the shooting in Washington, D.C. yesterday? They opened fired on a crowd, and 3 people died, and 3 more in the hospital. I don't know if you heard about that. That happened last night, I believe. So you're going to start hearing this crazy stuff. You're going to start hearing this crazy stuff all over again. I don't hear too much about Chicago, but again, that's another very criminally laden area. BLM does not say anything about Chicago and the black people that are murdered there every weekend and little kids and so on and so forth. BLM is a sham. They're a scam. They do nothing for the black community. They do nothing. They think they're doing something, but they're not. I don't know what time it is, but I always forget my watch. I think I've touched upon what I want to touch upon. We'll do the freedom rallies again once on, Washington, D.C. Yep. I think you can find it, I think it's on News, what is it, Newsbreak or something? Oh, you'll find it. You Google it or whatever, you'll be able to find it. Let me see. So just to recap, Wednesday alive, Saturday 9/11 alive. Unless something else happens, I'm not planning on going live until Wednesday. So people that live in the Northeast, enjoy the weather. It's another beautiful day. It's starting to turn, starting to get a little bit more fallish, but it's still on the warm side. Very pleasant. It's not humid. It's perfect. It's gorgeous. Yes, the Democrats are definitely all into distractions. There's no doubt about it. But like I said, you guys, the Patriots, keep yourself healthy, sleep, eat good food, exercise, do your research, start your own videos if you want to say something that is important to you. You want to say, get it out. TikTok is very good. They've got their longest video is 3 minutes, 60 seconds and 15, I think it is, or 30. I'm not sure, but their longest is 3 minutes. Very short, sweet. It's I've just started using it, so it's not like a live where I can stay on here for a while. So anyway, enjoy yourselves. Get out. Like I said, I don't know what the weather is like. I'm sure it's nice everywhere. I'm betting. Get out. Don't think about, don't stress. Do what you can. Feel emboldened. Feel like you've got power. Take control. Figure out what it is you're going to do just in case you come across, if you're working for somebody, just in case they tell you you have to get jabbed, be prepared of what you're going to do. Have, another plan just in case you want to leave, quit, if you cannot collect, whatever the situation is. Make sure you have some type of backup money in the bank to hold your expenses for a little while until you find something else that you can do that won't allow this kind of thing. I don't know. That's going to be hard. But I'm sure there are companies out there that, won't force you to do these things. You're just going to probably have to do a little digging. Or, if you're going to go get another job, be upfront about it and say, are you going to force me to do this, this, and this? If they say no, 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 and then they do, well, then you're going to have to figure out what to do again. Yeah, everybody should be ready with a plan. Plan B, plan C, whatever that is. I don't know what I would do. I tell you, that's quite a pickle to be in. So it's a major decision about your way of living, how you live. They are trying to change it. I think all states are different. But this state is a little bit, to me, more difficult for the patriots, for the conservatives. They make it difficult. It's not that they're not there. They just make it hard. Like on the standouts that we do, the rallies, how they, they just pick on things and they want to harass you and badger you, just like the BLMers did. So, now the BLMers are not going to have a target any longer on Thursdays because we're not going. They're going to have to just go their own way, figure out what it is, what they want to do. But we're done with them. We do not want to engage with them. So, and that goes for people in the chats, not to engage, block them, because they'll look at the names, see who you are. If you see it, block it. Then they can't see what you're doing, get any information on you. That's what I would do. So yeah, that's just a bunch of zombies. Yeah. So I have some new signs planned, depending when I get them. Either for Wednesday, not Saturday. It's either going to be this Wednesday or next Wednesday, depending on when I get them. They are blank signs. They're lawn signs. So I'm going to write in my own stuff on it. And I plan on staying at the monument so that I don't have to encounter those people. But I'm sure that they will come over to the monument, which is, all right. They can do that if they want, but it's not going to be as easy as being where the beach side is, where they just walk by and they can just say whatever they want. So you guys have a great day. Stay well, stay healthy, have plans, take control. Do not let the government or employers control your life. Figure out what it is you want to do. Find an alternative. Do something maybe you've always wanted to do but didn't have the time to do. Maybe this is the time to do it. Take advantage of it. I know I'm going to be doing more painting. I have a blank canvas right now. It's small. I'm trying to figure out whether I should do a little video on how I approach it or give people ideas on how to, have an outlet to paint. If you guys have, I like oil, but acrylics or watercolor, that's easy to do. All you need is water and you need the paints, obviously. So I'm thinking about doing that at some point. And I would like your feedback on it if you guys would be interested in seeing something like that. I've never done it before. I'm self-taught, so I do things the way I like to do things. So I was thinking of doing that. I just have to figure out how to position the camera and stuff like that. I don't know how. I'm gonna have to think about it. This is easier. Anyway, I'll see you guys on social media. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you on Wednesday when we do the live. We're gonna have to be again prepared for people that the anti-Americans and the flags and stuff like that. Actually, I love it that they get triggered. I look forward to it. I really do. I look forward to it. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I think I'm going to have a little bit more coffee, Me and my espresso. I don't know what you guys like to drink, but I love espresso coffee, Lavazza, which is an Italian brand. There are other brands too. It's a little pricey, so I don't get it that often, but it is very good. And I prefer drinking coffee. If I was going to pick a beverage, that's what I do. And you know, Dunkin' Donuts isn't that bad. In the morning, I like to have espresso. It wakes me up. But in the afternoon, if I want something, I will go to Dunkin' Donuts. They've got, yeah, Starbucks. Dunkin' Donuts has, if you download their app, you can get all these kinds of promos and deals and stuff. And they're having a medium-sized pumpkin spice latte. Has the whipped cream on it for like $3, medium size. I might get that later on. I got it before. It's really good. It's really good. The pumpkin, you know, like that fall taste, you know. So I'm going to do a plug for Dunkin' Donuts, but Dunkin' Donuts is very popular around here. So Starbucks is good too. I haven't, but because I have Lavazza and that's a strong coffee, I tend not to go to Starbucks. I go to Dunkin' Donuts, a little lighter. It's still good. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Stay healthy. Yeah, I know. The free donuts if you got a shot. I don't think it's there anymore. Stay healthy. De-stress. Go outside. Enjoy the weather, because when it starts getting cold, we're going to be staying inside. As you know, the people that live around here in New England, the winter can be pretty bad. Although it was pretty nice last winter. It wasn't that bad. Okay. I am going to say goodbye this time. Talk to you guys later. Bye.